I just recreated this crazy cool Twilight scene with just the iPhone 13 Pro. When the iPhone 13 Pros came out, macro photos, macro videos, this scene actually popped into my mind and I was like, why not try it out? Why not try recreating it, filming it? And here's how I did it. Firstly, the shot list. I had to figure out what scenes I needed to film, and to do that, I studied the scene-to-scene breakdown and came up with this. So next is filming these actual scenes. I'm going to share with you guys everything I did on Final Cut Pro to edit this to make this scene possible. Yep, so firstly, the iconic eye scene. To get a shot, I had to stay really still, and with a one-person crew team like what I have right now, it was kind of hard to do that, especially trying to figure out which angle it is and getting my face in the shot in front of that macro lens. That was not easy. What really helped for me was that I lean against the wall so that my face, my head doesn't fidget that much and I stay kind of still. But I realized that no matter what I did, it was really hard to achieve such a still eye image like what you're seeing here. So I decided to just freeze the image with Command H, and this actually helped a lot. To create a beautiful iris like this, I probably had to utilize night mode, use that long exposure, which I did not do. So I fixed it in post. I found images on Google on brown irises and layered it over whatever eye that I had. So that is sort of an editing trick. Next is the red eye. So how do you actually have the red eyes growing out of that brown iris? Well, it's two things, mask and layering. So I found a really clear image of the red iris photo, draw a mask around it, layer it on top of the brown iris, then adjust the positions, keyframe it, and there you go. Or another way to achieve that red eye is to do this. Throw in color board, play with the hue to get that red color that you like, and increase the contrast because vampire scenes are just really dramatic. And then you throw on a shape mask and adjust the position and do the keyframing. And there you go, you have red eyes for every single scene. Next, the dust scene. This is actually one of my favorites because I just love how clear the dust is in that shot. But I googled, it was super hard to actually capture any kind of minute dust, even with a macro lens. So I did this. I took a few videos of my favorite wall to use as the background shot, and then I blurred it with Gaussian blur. Next, I added a layer of green screen video of dust particle. And that is the hack. Just YouTube it and you can find loads of awesome green screen graphics effects. The only difficulty was the zooming in part and making sure that as I zoom in, I blur more of the background shot so that it's a more seamless transition into that dust particle scene. Now, back to the eye. You can see more of Kristen Stewart's face, so I had to zoom it out a little, and for the eyes, I did the same as what I did in the first shot to get that red eye. Next is the Vase Scene. For this, I wanted the same kind of window scene, but I didn't have all these other books. So I gathered my favorite items and put it by the window, took a wide shot of it, and then a super close-up shot of this Baby Yoda mug. Then I started dripping water down the cup and hoped that I captured something. But the key to this scene is actually the transition, the zoom in. From the wide shot, you actually have to zoom in, and then there's a white color scene that transitions into this water scene. So that's what I did. But one thing I realized is that it would have been so much better if I could do a slow-mo shot of this water dripping down. But unfortunately, with the current iPhone 13 Pro with its macro lens, I can only film in 4K 30, 4K 24, and not 4K 60, so I couldn't slow it down. But it's fine, we're moving on. Next is the book scene. I found a stack of books in my house that I was in the midst of organizing, and I filmed it. I staged it to actually feature the Twilight book because it was one of my favorites and because this entire scene is based off Twilight. Then I took these pages, put it under some good lighting to get that close-up macro shot. At this point, I need to say just how great, how impressed I am with the macro lens on the iPhone 13. Simply just move the iPhone 13 super duper close to that paper and you get to see all these textures on the paper, which is what I wanted. It's that simple. You don't have to like take a big camera like this and then change out the lens or buy expensive macro lens to achieve that shot. So it's actually pretty amazing to have all of that crazy video features in just one phone. So that's pretty cool. Editing this was pretty simple. I just had to zoom into the words and make sure that I have a zoom effect over them so that it's like it's moving closer and closer to the words. Then back to the eye scene. Yada yada yada, do the same things as what I did with the previous eye scenes, and there we go. Red eyes, vampire, very very scary. So next is the carpet scene. This was actually an easy scene to film, just a wide shot and a really close-up shot, but it was hard to edit. To get this scene, they actually zoomed into the shot 3 times, and I tried for hours and hours and hours and I really could not achieve it, so I stopped being a perfectionist and just skipped to a simple zoom and then transition to the next scene, and there you go. Finally, I added a vignette layer to all of these shots to achieve that cinematic effect. I've also added a focus effect to most of the shots to get a bokeh effect, aka background blur, so it looks as though we're looking through someone's eyes. I really love this scene so much. It's the scene in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 where Bella just wakes up and has already transitioned into a vampire, and you get to see the eyes transition into that bloody red eyes, and you get to see the texture of the book, super detailed stuff, Bella being pretty and everything, and yeah, I just love all of that, and I'm pretty psyched that we can actually create all of this with an iPhone. The point is you can create anything you want even if you just have a phone with you. Just with a little creativity and watching loads of YouTube tutorials, you can even recreate your favorite movie scenes with your iPhone. So I'm just amazed. If I can do all of this, so can you. And I challenge you, my friends, to do the same. And tag me in it when you post it, and I'm super excited to see what you create. This is fun. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe to help the channel reach 10k subs and more. It would make me really happy, so thank you very much. Stay maintained and cheery. Goodbye! Hopefully, I don't get copyrighted for this. Yep.